So I'm going back to my dump today, and let's just face it, dude. It's never gonna feel like a new year for as long as I'm still in that dump. All right, it's never gonna feel like a new year until I'm actually out of there. And that's why I've been saying, especially going to last year and the year before that, just being in that dump and just acknowledging that it's nothing but the same shit that I've been doing, since practically day one, which is what, 2012. Mind you, I started in that dump, thanks to Rico, since when I was 25 years old, I think. I was 25, 26, right? 2012. And then, right now, being in my 13th year, considering that it's already been 13 years, I'm damn near 40. That's just hard to believe, age-wise. And look, I'm really no fan of age as far as age does this to people, certain people, and what have you. You already know where I stand on that. But in terms of this, though, look, I'm not shooting for longevity here, okay? I mean, it's never gonna be the case, for the fact that I'm still in this dump for 13 years. But it's really never gonna feel like a new year, because why? Because I'm still here and doing the same shit over and over every single year for the past 12 years. And it's like I'm not learning anything anymore. Only in my first year, perhaps my second year, and third year to an extent, right? But since then, it's just been, especially the pandemic, where I had to work from home. That's one thing I experienced. But other than that, the workload that I've been doing is just nothing but the same. It's the same shit over and over, dude. And by the way, dude, it's like Mr. Cheap himself. It's, why couldn't we get the same treatment, just being off the day after Christmas, like we did in 2018, when we both got the days off of Christmas Eve and Day. Mind you, Christmas Day was on a Tuesday, Christmas Eve was on a Monday, so we had the 4-day weekend. I can understand that, right? But, it's like what Rico said. Look, last year, 4th of July was on a Thursday. For his company, he had, the 5th off, the day after off. And for us, we had to come back because, we're just that cheap as a company. And it's just been the same way here. It's almost like at this point, we just could never get more than 1 day off. It just seems that way. Hell, we had to come back on the 2nd. It was a Friday, for Christ's sake, and I had the day off on New Year's Eve, rightfully so, because everyone left at 4:30 with nothing happening. At this point, why couldn't he just make it a half day? Everyone leaves at 12:30. Why does it always have to be a full day? And I get it. Back then, it was. I mean, it's always been slow, but not to this extent. Yet that motherfucker doesn't want to do anything to change for the better, as far as changing the ways of the dump to make it better, right? He's never gonna do that. He calls me out for freaking like the whole will call thing, and it's like, you couldn't even tell me a month ahead, right after he took all those flyers out from the racks, and next thing you know, it's like he had to wait until like a month or two later. This is exactly why almost 20 people left. I mean, I try as hard as I try as much as possible to come in and really feel like I'm at work, but it's hard, dude, because I'm Because I'm still there. I'm still there in that same dump, just knowing the history of nothing but bullshit in that place, right? And it's like you had almost 20 people who left in 2023. That itself, you know, especially when you have 5 people or maybe a little bit more than that, to Paula's leaving in June of 2023, you know, like since that point on, it's just been what, like my heart started to sink. Not necessarily because she left, although I do miss her a lot. But when you have more people like Hal, Melissa, and Riley, all those people that left, it's like, dude, like, why at that point can that company president do something to better this dump? Oh, well, he wouldn't. That's why the state of this dump is still what it is. I'll never forget, like, what was it? At the start of 2024, surprisingly, I was still here, and I come out of my break, and, you know, I know that motherfucker just come out, you know, greeted everyone as a whole. Well, yeah, Happy New Year, this and that. When he got, you know, when he called me and Armando in, you know, he's like, oh, did he take his break or something? I was like, man, that fool just seems to have a problem with me, like, doing this shit like that. And he gets in his moods, man. That's why everyone wants him to retire, dude. At this point, the vice president takes consideration of his employees. You know, unlike that fool. That fool just stuck to his own ways, and it's why this place will never improve. That's why it's never going to feel like a new year for me. Never, ever again. You know, once the year 2025 starts, I'm still in that dump. 2024, still in that dump. 2026, 2027, 2028. You know, for as long as I'm still there, it's never going to feel like a new year. I don't care what anybody says. Well, you know, I see, this is your time to adjust to all these, you know, try something new, get a girlfriend, or, you know, to develop new habits, new routines, this and that. Y'all can say that to me, and at the end of the day, even, I said it before, I can try all those new things, and guess what? If I'm still in that dump, all of that's going to be forgotten. That's why at one point I wanted to quit therapy, because of my dump. At the end of the day, the stupidity and toxicity of what this dump is now is certainly affecting me more than what I've learned through therapy and psychiatry. Hell, I stopped taking medication. I'm still getting the notifications on my phone, but I stopped taking it because I gotta start proving that I don't need to take it no more. It's not that expensive, but still, it ain't doing nothing to me. Ever since I took it, look, I lost a few more friends. I lost Dewey, Julio, Robbie, and probably one other. And those guys are like the most, I mean, when it's significant friends in terms of, like, you know, having known them for a long time and part of what was formerly known as the Nutballers group. And look no further now. They completely moved on from me. Even though I apologize to all those guys, you know, in the end, it's they don't want nothing to do with me no more. I made a fool of myself for them to think that, oh yeah, see, the help is helping you. You know what I'm saying? And look, all of a sudden now they can't trust me anymore. They can't. Why else do you think Tristan left me? Why else do you think Rhea left me? Why else do you think Angelique left me? I mean, they ain't gonna be guys like Nathan and Russ, Boss, Eugene, right? Carlos. They ain't gonna do that. Hell, you know, Jesse, unfortunately, you know, ain't gonna buy with my bullshit either. Even if he saw like how much I ranted about my dump and all that, and in the end, I mean, I know I said a lot of things that I don't mean to say, but in the end, it's over. He blocked me on Instagram. So it is what it is, man. I gotta do something to get out of this dump. And the only thing I can do is job hunt. What else can I do? All I'm doing in there is just doing the same shit. It's nothing but the same shit over and over and over. That you know, there's just really no learning opportunities there. That's why I've been saying that it really just never feels like a new year anymore from that aspect. Considering that I'm in my dump more than I am in my, you know, at home. You know, it's just sad. I mean, I feel spoiled for coming into the dump. You know, if it wasn't for, you know, Rico helping me to get there, right? And even with my subpar portfolio, I was still able to get in because of him. He mentored me in graphic design, learning InDesign through him. I mean, I'm thankful for that, but in the end, it's like I got to get out of that history too, because a lot of graphic designers, let's just be real, you know, with the resume they had, like after graduating with a fine arts degree, or you know, like a bachelor of arts degree in graphic design. I mean, of course, you don't already know how to use all the main programs like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. You know what I'm saying? All of that. But not me, though. I only learned one thing in InDesign and not really the basic tools, or what have you. But whatever, right? And another thing too is like every time I'm in his dump, I've seen practically the same people since since day one. I started working there. Anna's still there. Armando's still there. That's why there's nothing that speaks newness in that dump. I mean, the only thing that's really new happened in the last few years when the lovely Laura was there, and Kevin, Andrew. There's a lot of new people. And then what? They all left. It's ridiculous, dude. And that's why I need to start job hunting, man. No, I mean, I've been job hunting. So there's just no way in hell that I'm ever gonna feel like, oh yeah, this is the new year. Yeah, New Year's resolutions. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, dude. I don't care about any of that shit anymore. You know, I'm at that point where it's, you know, I'm just here just to be here and get paid $18.50 an hour when it should have already been, you know, 25 and all that. You know what I'm saying? 20, at least 22. I already been through more than enough BS in here for me to already lose this many friends, including those guys that I mentioned earlier. Real sad, dude. Real sad. Real sad. I'll see you later.